gentlemen, please help me welcome Nick Scott.
I turned it into a triumph, going from nothing to being a world-class wheelchair bodybuilder, a ballroom dancer, and now a professional speaker. I've given over 200 keynote speeches in 48 different states. It took me many years to accept who I am and to be okay with who I am.
What if everything you thought defined you disappeared overnight? Not your goals, but your body, your routine, your future. Some people break, others rebuild, and a few rewrite the meaning of strength itself. This isn't just a story about fitness or motivation. It's about what happens when limits are exposed, and someone decides they don't apply anymore. This is the story of Nick Scott. Nick Scott was 16 years old when his life changed in a single moment. Like many teenagers, he felt invincible, unaware of how fragile everything truly was. One ordinary day, a car ride turned into a life-altering event that would redefine his future forever. The accident happened suddenly and without warning. The impact was severe, causing catastrophic damage to his spine. In a matter of seconds, the physical world he knew collapsed around him. Emergency responders rushed him to the hospital, where doctors worked to stabilize his condition. The injuries were critical, and the situation was uncertain. What had begun as a normal day ended in silence, confusion, and flashing hospital lights. Nick remained unconscious for part of the initial treatment. When he woke up, he was surrounded by machines, medical staff, and the heavy atmosphere of trauma. The simplest movements no longer responded, and a deep sense of shock replaced any clear understanding of what had happened. Doctors explained that his spinal cord had been severely damaged. The injury was permanent, and the consequences would affect every aspect of his life. At 16, he was forced to hear words no teenager ever expects.
The doctor came in and he bluntly told me that my football days were over and I would never walk again. I mean, the world changed for me forever.
Paralysis, lifelong disability, and no guarantee of recovery. The accident itself was not just a physical event. Everything before it belonged to one life. Everything after belonged to another. In just a few seconds, Nick's future was rewritten, not by choice, not by preparation, but by the randomness of a single moment on the road. After the accident, Nick Scott faced a battle that went far beyond physical injury. Paralyzed at 16, he found himself trapped in a body that no longer responded the way he expected. For the first time in his life, everyday tasks that had once seemed simple became obstacles. This sudden loss of independence created feelings of frustration, anger, and deep sadness. The psychological impact was profound. Nick struggled with depression, isolation, and the painful awareness that his life would never be the same. Social situations became intimidating, and he began withdrawing from friends and peers. Alongside the emotional toll came a physical struggle. Without the ability to move freely, Nick's body began to change. He gained weight, which intensified feelings of shame and self-doubt. Each glance in the mirror reminded him of what he had lost, and the combination of weight gain and disability made him feel disconnected from the confident, athletic teenager he once was. Despite this, small sparks of determination began to surface. He started paying attention to little successes, the ability to perform a simple exercise, or the first time he could complete a task independently. These moments, though small, offered glimpses of control and a foundation for self-confidence. Nick's mental struggle was ongoing, marked by setbacks, doubt, and fear. Yet even in these early stages, there were hints that his mind had not surrendered entirely. The road ahead would be long, But the first step toward regaining self-belief had quietly begun. Nick Scott's journey into competitive bodybuilding began not in a stadium, but in a small gym, surrounded by weights, mirrors, and determination. After regaining some confidence in his body, he discovered that strength training offered more than physical benefits. It gave him a sense of purpose and control. What started as rehabilitation quickly turned into passion, and Nick realized that his limits were only as strong as his mindset. Driven by this newfound focus, he began training with intensity, studying the techniques, poses, and discipline of professional bodybuilders. Despite the challenges of adapting exercises for his wheelchair, Nick refused to let conventional expectations define him. He honed his physique meticulously, developing symmetry, definition, and power. In 2006, Nick took a bold step into the world of competition. Entering his first wheelchair bodybuilding show, he faced seasoned athletes and skepticism from those who doubted whether wheelchair competitors could achieve the same standards of excellence. His dedication, however, quickly silenced doubters. With each competition, he improved, refining his poses, sculpting his muscles, and earning respect from judges and audiences alike. Nick's breakthrough came in 2011 when he earned his IFBB Pro card, winning the overall title at the NPC Wheelchair Nationals. This achievement cemented his place among the elite of wheelchair bodybuilding. Over the years, he accumulated titles, recognition, and invitations to pose at major events worldwide, ultimately becoming the most recognized wheelchair bodybuilder in the world. Beyond trophies and accolades, Nick's rise symbolized something greater: the power of perseverance, discipline, and refusal to accept limits. He didn't just compete, he elevated the entire sport, inspiring a generation of adaptive athletes and redefining what it means to be a professional bodybuilder in a wheelchair. Nick Scott's story extends far beyond bodybuilding. As his visibility grew, so did invitations to share his journey with others, from schools and universities to corporate boardrooms and international conferences. What began as casual conversations about overcoming adversity evolved into a career in motivational speaking, where his words inspired audiences around the world. In each speech, Nick draws on his own experiences, the accident, the challenges of adapting to a wheelchair, and the mental battles that followed. But he frames them not as a tale of tragedy, but as lessons in resilience, perspective, and determination. His talks are known for blending honesty with humor, vulnerability with strength, making his message both relatable and empowering. Audiences from all walks of life connect with Nick's approach. Students see him as proof that setbacks do not define their potential. Corporate teams learn strategies for focus, leadership, and embracing challenges. Athletes, both able-bodied and adaptive, find motivation in his disciplined approach to training and goal setting. Over the years, Nick has delivered thousands of talks worldwide, inspiring millions of people to rethink what is possible when life takes an unexpected turn. His influence has made him more than an athlete. He has become a symbol of perseverance, a voice for people facing limitations, and a living example that purpose and impact can be forged from adversity. Through speaking, Nick extends his reach far beyond the stage or the gym. He proves that inspiration is contagious and that one person's story, when told with honesty, courage, and conviction, can motivate an entire generation to challenge their own limits. Beyond the spotlight and trophies, Nick's life is a testament to perseverance, vision, and the power of refusing to accept the boundaries set by circumstance. As the world continues to evolve, his legacy will remain. A life lived boldly, a body rebuilt with determination, and a story that reminds us that even when life changes in an instant, it can still become extraordinary.